One reason I collect Funko Pops is what other company is giving out so much love to horror movies? Who else has a Get Out and Us merchandise? Well, hardly anybody. Hey you guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. We've got some movie news to discuss today. Not a whole bunch of news. I'm gonna do my best to make this all exciting, but it feels like the movie world has taken a pause in preparation for DC fandom this weekend because it's gonna be an explosion of movie news. So this week sort of feels like the calm before the big storm. Nonetheless, we're gonna be talking about a remake to a beloved property that I think is gonna get some people kind of hesitant. Candyman giving us a couple of new images. One that people are saying is a huge spoiler, even though I don't really think it is. Netflix spending money to save their butts on some controversy. That is so much more, guys. So I'm gonna need your opinions down below on what you think about today's movie topics. You guys know I have no life, so I'm always just in the comment section down there with you. Also, don't forget to give some love to that like button down there just to show your appreciation for these videos. As a reminder, I use SideFlick to talk about the smaller movie news that is going on in the industry, but yesterday I covered some big hitters, like we just got released the new jersey uniforms for Space Jam 2. So I go all in detail on my opinions on what I think about that outfit, as well as also the new casting and some details about Scream 5 that I'm really looking forward to, which is why I still haven't taken down this mask because I like the way it looks. So check those videos out if you haven't already. There'll be links in the description. Alright, one of the first stories we're going to talk about here is a movie with two actors I really respect in the industry, and I'm so happy they're finally working together. It's looking like Will Smith and Kevin Hart will join together to give us a remake of the classic movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Now, to a lot of people out there, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a classic. It is a hilarious film starring Steve Martin and John Candy, of these two guys who during the holidays are forced to travel together just to be able to go see their families, and along the way a whole bunch of disaster ensues. So you can pretty much assume the exact same thing is going to be going down in a modern day version with Will Smith and Kevin Hart. Now, one of the main reasons I'm all up for this and not as hesitant as some people is because I saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles at a very young age, so I don't have a huge personal attachment like some people do. But even I gotta admit, Steve Martin and John Candy, those are some big shoes to fill in. But like I was saying, these are two actors I really like in the industry. I respect Will Smith so much. Kevin Hart still makes me laugh even though he plays the same type of character in every movie. If you're giving me a film where the whole premise is for these two to be at each other's necks, fight with each other, get at each other, then I am 100% all in for that. I just doubt it's at all gonna touch what the original was, but I'm very happy to see it done. With Kevin Hart and Will Smith attached to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good idea, or no, it shouldn't be done? One of the movies Netflix has up and coming that has been in the works for what feels like the longest time and is one of my most anticipated movies for whenever this film decides to come out, because you know how Netflix is, they either just drop it by surprise or they give you a release date far in the future. We have visionary director Zach Snyder giving us his movie Army of the Dead. Now, this is a film that maybe a lot of you have not heard, but it is set to come to Netflix, and the reason I'm so excited about this is because it's a new zombie movie by Zach Snyder, the same guy who gave us the remake of Dawn of the Dead, and I'd argue that that movie is just as good as the original. The premise for Army of the Dead goes as Army of the Dead is set in the aftermath of a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas and follows a group of mercenaries who take the ultimate gamble venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. So to sum up, this is a zombie movie where Las Vegas has become the quarantine zone. No one is allowed in or out because zombies have taken over that area, and these group of mercenaries are gonna go jumping in, try to take whatever money is left at Las Vegas, and then try to make it out alive. That sounds like such a fun, great idea for a movie, and with a lot of these Netflix films not always hitting the peak, I think this is one I'm definitely going to want to see, especially also because of the amazing cast and roster of characters they were going to throw at us. I mean, Dave Bautista was one of them. However, when you have a cast this big, there's bound to be one bad apple, and that's what we're mainly talking about today, is that one of the actors in this movie, named Crystalline, who is a comedian, some of you guys might already know where I'm headed with this, he was accused of talking to minors online, basically getting canceled, and that had me so worried for this movie because it was said that he had a large role in the film, and nowadays it's kind of hard to release a movie when one of your main stars has been canceled for something bad, like talking to minors. With a situation like this, you never know what the studio is going to do. They could do a Warner Brothers and just completely ignore the controversy and release the movie hoping no one talks about it. Or they could do what Netflix and Zach Snyder decided, which I think is the smartest move, is that they went ahead and announced that they will be doing reshoots for this movie and replacing the actor through CGI. Crystalline, the actor, is now going to be replaced by Tig Notaro. She's a comedian just like Crystalline. And man, this I think is a really smart move for it, because I think it would have been crappy if you just released your film when there was some controversy up in the air with it. That's not what you want people talking about when they see your movie. But at the same time, we've seen a lot of CGI replacements on the face before, and it does not always look amazing. So this could be one of the distracting things about your film. I really just wanted to throw it off to you guys. Do you think Netflix made the right move with choosing to handle the controversy this way, or should they just have ignored it? I think they would have ignored it if the character that this person is playing died early on in the movie, but if they went as far as to replace the actor with CGI and reshoot, it looks like his character probably survived a long time within the movie, and it was just too much time to have that guy on screen. But let me know your thoughts down below. Moving on to basically the only horror movie that'll hopefully save us in the year 2020, Candyman. Now I say that because this is the only wide release horror movie set to come out this year. Right now it currently has a date of October 16, 2020, and with movie theaters opening up this weekend, at least the majority of them in the US, it looks like by the time October comes, we could actually be fully ready for Candyman, and it could actually make a decent amount of money at the box office. I know I already got my tickets for my first brand new movie in the theaters, Unhinged. Y'all seen the trailers for that? It looks wild. I'm kind of excited. Review for the channel. But talking about Candyman, there was a magazine who released some photos of the film Candyman, and it had a lot of people kind of upset because they thought it just completely ruined the movie for them as a huge spoiler, when if you've seen the trailers, this really is not a spoiler. Photos in question are of Yahya Abdul here, front and center of this magazine, becoming the one and only Candyman, and even though these photos are being covered by a bunch of text, the man looks absolutely horrifying. I like the hook hand. I like his distorted face. But most importantly, man, that jacket is very sway. I like it a lot. Now, the reason this photo is getting people upset is because they thought it was a huge spoiler, because they did not know that the main character in this movie would become Candyman. And I just have to say, one, have you not seen the first Candyman? Kind of obvious what happens to the main character in the Candyman movies. And second, the trailer is filled with shots of Yahya Abdul slowly turning into Candyman. Besides, I feel like the film is going to have a lot more surprises, because we're still wondering how Tony Todd is going to fit into it. That's the OG Candyman. We've even had word that the person who turned into Candyman in the first movie, that character is going to be showing up in this movie as well. I'm just really happy that this is looking to be like one of those horror movies I can actually see in the movie theater without it getting constantly delayed. With these photos released for Candyman, guys, does it hype you up even more? What do you think of the look of this new Candyman? Do you consider it a big spoiler? But speaking of brand new horror movies, we have Jordan Peele, the man who's become a legend in the horror community because of his most recent movies. If you don't know, Jordan Peele is the man who brought us films like Get Out, that won him an Oscar for his screenplay on that, and also brought us the original horror film Us, that although not as good as Get Out, I thought was still really well done. Well, reports are now coming in that Jordan Peele is getting ready to shoot his next movie, and it's gonna be another horror film. Oh, the horror community keeps winning. Now, the information is coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter, and the funniest part about all this is that we have absolutely no details other than a quick description by Jordan Peele about this new movie. In fact, this whole article was just about how California is gearing up to start filming again, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the biggest part of the story was that Jordan Peele's film will be set in California, or at least that's where it'll be shot, and that was about it. But that led to so many articles, so many people buzzing online like that is how iconic Jordan Peele has become in just 2 movies, that people hear he's got a new movie coming up and already instantaneously on the top of my most anticipated list, just because the man has proven that he's able to give us fun, scary, entertaining horror movies. I get people complaining all the time in my comment section about Hollywood constantly making reboots, remakes, and especially me being so excited for all these reboots and remakes like Scream 5, the Child's Play reboot. Jordan Peele is the guy who's giving us original horror movies that are not based on already pre-made made material. And we can basically expect the same thing from his third movie. This is the only details that we have so far about the third film Jordan Peele is making. Peele teased in issue 3 of Fangoria that he was planning a horror film that aimed to be scarier than both Get Out and Us. I'm very happy Jordan Peele is staying on the horror side of things because we don't have that many directors who stick to horror. Some of them start off making horror movies and they go off to making action movies, superhero movies, or dramas, and that's great and all. And I would for sure love to see Jordan Peele tackle maybe a drama or a straight up comedy again. But if you have someone that talented, why not bring some magic to the horror community? I really just want to know from you guys, with Jordan Peele getting ready for his next movie, are you excited for it just by hearing his name? And what would you like it to be about? Give me a monster movie, man. I'd like to see a new monster movie. Or a slasher. I love slashers. But anyways, guys, that is just all the movie news we have going on right now. Like I said, I'm just really waiting for DC Fandom. I'm super excited for it. I might make one more live stream before DC Fandom just to get all you guys discussing and talking about it. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Other than that, don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel, like an update on Scream 5, me talking some Space Jam 2, all linked in the description. As always, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.